Here I sit, sweat running down my back, tears blurring my vision, in my mind a battlefield of doubt and regret. Here I sit, ready to tell you the story of a man who lost all hope, to tell you the story of Graham Durkle, my story. This tale, however, did not start in sadness. No, it started in a small village within the kingdom of Ecuador, where I was born into simplicity. I had a mother who tried to provide through her sewing, while my father, a once skilled carpenter, drowned himself in drink and rage. A spark had been ignited within me, and while I had managed to ignore it for some years, the yearning for a life of adventure eventually became too great to ignore. And that fateful day, I clutched a crumpled recruitment poster, its edges frayed and my heart racing with fear and determination, as I stood there trembling before my mother, her eyes filled with understanding. I found comfort. My father, however, his fury erupted. Shattering the calm, I felt the rush of rebellion as I struck back in the chaos that followed, defending my place in a life that I longed to escape. As soon as the chaos had died down, I embraced my mother one last time. "I promise you I will return, mother," I said to her, as the tears on her cheeks were starting to dry up. Hastily, I departed with little more than a handful of coins and my dreams tucked away. I was met with a whirlwind of sights and sounds as I reached Cliffside, the capital of Ecuador. The air brimmed with the aroma of baked bread and spices. The city bustled with life, merchants calling out and children laughing. I greeted the townsfolk with a smile, though I was hardly noticed, as they were absorbed in their own lives. I entered Ulfred's den in that night, seeking warmth amidst the cold of reality. My stomach was filled with old bread and bland soup. I had gotten tired of the noise all the people made as I was eating, and thus, feeling sufficiently fed, I decided to go to bed, hoping to find some peaceful silence. I laid on a straw mattress, surrounded by the snoring of strangers, fidgeting around restlessly. I longed for the comfort and cooking of my mother. I woke up the next morning with doubts haunting my head. Do I really wish to do this? I asked myself. Still, the longing for adventure and determination to succeed was stronger than the haunting doubts and desire to embrace my mother once more. So I marched to the nearest barracks with all the confidence I could gather, ready to become a knight in the name of the king. Days that followed were filled with unyielding duties of a guard, guarding gates, patrolling walls, watching the markets. An endless cycle that felt far from the adventure I had craved. I accepted it for a while, but caved in eventually. I decided to approach the commander, seeking a change in fate, only to be met with ridicule and arrogance. "Sir," I asked him, "could there be any other duties my skills would be useful for?" "A low-born peasant like you? I doubt if those guarding duties might even be too important to leave to you. Get out of my sight, filth, and do not speak of this again," he replied angrily. Filled with disappointment, I returned to my guard duties. Yet the next day something unexpected happened. "You are to report near the main gate," a squire told me, giving me a flicker of hope amidst the monotony of life here. News of a dragon raid had reached the city, thickening the atmosphere with dread. Morwick had burned and the shadows of danger loomed closer now than they had been in ages. I had no clue what my new duties would be, if I would even get any, but was sure it had something to do with this new, rising danger. We marched to Riverwatch, a lone tower standing sentinel close to one of the borders of the kingdom, watching out over a long river. My heart soared and sank as I faced the quiet solitude of my post. Days melted together and I found myself alone, reflecting on a life far removed from the dreams I tried to chase. Then came the silence, a companion that felt both familiar and torturous. my thoughts slowly spiraling into madness. The shadows far below the tower beckoned. Would they even miss me if I vanished? I asked myself. And then, through the haze of despair, I glimpsed dragon ships on the horizon. My heart raced as fear gripped me tightly. A person approached. Was it a dragon I heard, or merely a figment of my imagination? With sword in hand, I stormed out, desperate to confront the unknown that waited just beyond my reach. Yet I was met with nothing but silence as I ran outside. I collapsed onto the ground, tears streaming down my face. Here I was, a guard, tasked with a noble duty, yet feeling like a mere shadow of a man, lost and forgotten amidst the cold stone walls of the tower, on which I contemplated my existence, thinking of the comforting embrace of my mother, and the taste of her comforting meals. I felt out of place in a life that I had chosen. Why did I not choose my father's path? I asked myself. Days turned into a blur, with the haunting silence of the tower closing in. I had sent word to the commander, asking for others, yet his response was cold and empty. Make do with what you have. There is naught I can do for a lone watchtower, he wrote back. It was then that the voices came, echoing in my mind, one urging me to abandon my post, to escape this cruel solitude, while another beckoned to remain loyal. Was I truly losing my sanity? And now we are here, as I am telling this story, me standing atop the tower, among the whispers of surrender. A spark of determination flickers inside of me. I have made my choice. My duties will find their end today. I have written a final prayer, a plea for forgiveness for a life not lived. Here I stand at the edge of the tower, feeling the wind caress my face, a bittersweet farewell to a life of dreams unfulfilled.